and I had a game. I had so many things that I had to be focused on at that time, and then that happened. And then a lot of things started happening. Like it's so funny because I feel like when life is like, it's so funny because I know I'm a baby, right? But the way that my soul is so old and it's able to really receive the lessons regardless of how small or large they may be. Like I genuinely do receive so much wisdom from everything that I go through. And that was a tough moment for
Well, I
me because
always
I
say,
feel
I always say, pain gives you wisdom. Wisdom gives you guidance. Guidance gives you strength, and strength gives you direction.
right, very much. So yeah, it was pretty bad. It was really bad for a really long time. And I feel like I lost a lot of myself and it sucked because, I feel like I told you already about this. I had such a bad habit of just like binging out on chocolate chip cookies. And that was like my emotional escape from everything and how heavy everything was. And I was in school and I've always been a 4.0 student. Like I've always been intelligent. I've always been able to get the job done. It's not
Hmm.
that I can't, but I wasn't able to do it. Like I wasn't able to give any of my energy. It's like this year has sucked everything out of me. I have no more to give. Why can't I just do my assignment? Like why can't I just get a good grade? Like why can't I just pass these classes? Like felt so heavy on me. Like I was carrying the whole world on me. And then my
Hmm.
dad and then my mom and then like I have to be good because my brother, and like it was a lie. It was a lie. And I didn't realize it was my spirit fighting everything just because, like, I'm not supposed to be in school right now, my love. Like,
Hmm.
you are different. You're kind of
Hmm.
different than everybody else. Why are you going to go that way when you're not supposed to go that way? And I feel like God was like, my love, take a break off school. I'm going to
Hmm.
show you where I want you to go because I made you different and you are different and you have a pretty big purpose because I created you for this and you're built for this. So it had to
But do
take
you
me
find when you
feeling
find
the pressure.
do you find though, like, I mean, when people use that word, because I mean I've heard it my whole life about being different, and because I always went the opposite direction and believed in things that I wanted to follow, not the path that was laid out for me. Like people
Right,
feel that there's a
right.
blueprint, and I think that when you use that term of people using calling you different, do you feel that that is a strength or a weakness? Do you feel that because it's like people look at that as, when you're different, that you're isolated, like you're put in this thing, like, either you get hate from it for being different, you get uh, distance from people because when everyone is playing it safe, you play a little bit dangerously. You're willing to take
Right,
those risks. You're willing to crash and burn and fall a couple times, get
right,
scraped, get beat up, and then realize, hey, you know what? Like all of this stuff, like, and I've always said this from the get go. You can have all this book smarts in the world. You can have all the academic scholars in the world. But to me, that shit's never meant anything in real life because street smarts is what is going to make you survive. Like book smarts will only get you to a certain level, but when real shit happens, how are you going to face it? And obviously for you, like going through uh, a divorce by your parents is obviously, any kids, especially at a young age, worst
right.
nightmare to happen because now you're having to make decisions at such a young age that you really shouldn't have had to make of like it's not you don't want to play sides because you'll love your parents equally, but it's almost like you and I'm sure I'll ask you this, like people I know who have gone through divorce and had their parents divorce, they start to question, is it something that I did that caused this? Did you ever feel that way, like in your situation with your parents breaking up, that it was like something that you thought maybe you did that caused it?
I don't think I personally thought I had something to do with it. I feel like
Hmm.
I just had to carry all of the weight after, just because they tried making it work for months, even though it was just like horrible, just because like my dad was really bad, like really, 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 really bad. And like I had to be his light and his angel to kind of like, because we're his world, like literally his world, like we're his family. Like he doesn't have
Hmm.
anything but us. So I had to absorb everything just because he projects a lot and vents a lot, and I had to just listen and be there, not realizing that it was kind of taking me down, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm already being taken down, and now I'm taken down because of this, and now school is on that, and then now I'm just here. It was just a lot. Like, I really do feel like I lost myself just because I was so caught up in everything else, and that's why, like, I do understand the successful people, and like when they talk about all the things that you have to go through and the challenges and the failures and the this happens and then life happens. Like, although yes, I am young and I do know I will face more challenges, like I'm able to grasp the wisdom and understand it and apply it and be like, I have gone through it, regardless if it's to your standard or your standard. Like, I have my own story, and I'm able to be really shaped through a lot, honestly. And then as I'm depressed and as I'm sad is when I get my opportunity for Wipeout.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah,
was
tell me
something.
about that. What was that experience like being on Wipeout? How did that come about, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, my friend Nathan like hit me up in like July, and he's like my kindergarten friend, and we went to middle school and we were really close. But then we went to separate high schools and we hadn't spoke since. Then he randomly texted me saying, "Hey, like I need an athletic girl to go on Wipeout with me. Like I know this is a weird question, but you want to do it?" And I was like, "Well, hell yeah, let's do it." So we talked to producers. They liked our vibe, they liked our energy, and then we had like a Zoom meeting a few days later, and it seemed like they liked us. And they're like, "We'll let you know in October." We're like, okay, bet. October came and we didn't hear anything. And I was going through everything in the world. So I was like, at this point, like, it's not going to happen. Like, life is just kicking my ass right now. So, okay. And then December, when I was really bad with my bad habits and like just binging and chocolate, I had cookies in my hand. I get a text from the Wipeout producer, and they're like, yeah, we're filming next week. COVID test on Wednesday, take your physical on Monday. And it was like Friday. I was like, what? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be, ideally in a dream world, I wanted to be ripped for the show. I wanted to be ready. I wanted to be confident. I don't feel like I was any of those. Like, I wasn't in the state to do that. So that was a mental battle for sure. And that I told myself, like, if you can do this at 50%, what can you do at 100%? And I hyperextended my knee like 5 seconds into the course, and I injured
Mm-hmm.
this knee from basketball before, so I basically re-injured it right away. We ended up getting the fastest time anyway, so we went on to the next round. But now I had so much fear, so much doubt. Like, you're gonna break your leg on camera, like you're gonna break it right here, like because it
Mm-hmm.
required athleticism, it required confidence, it required your knees being fully functional. And I couldn't walk after the first obstacle course, so they gave me ibuprofen. They had to wrap up my knee. I couldn't walk. Like, I was really like, wow, like this would happen. This would
Mm-hmm.
happen. Like, you would have to overcome this too. Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
just going on an obstacle course and doing the show. No, 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 no. You're gonna have to go through all these things to grow you, to shape you, to mold you. And I know that's what it was for now, looking back. But I just had to have so much faith in God. I'm like, Lord, like my mind is going crazy right now. Like, I can't do this with my own power, with my own strength. Like, I'm truly a divine being. Like, I'm not from here, this three-dimensional world. Like, I genuinely am here for a grand and great purpose. Like, I know that. And I had to just tap into that source. And I was able to complete it first, actually, the second
Mm-hmm.
obstacle course. And then he finished it second. So then we made it to the wipeout zone, which was the last one, which is us against another group. Whoever wins, wins. And then I had to get launched from a rocket. I don't even like heights. I've never even been on a roller coaster. So I
Never?
got never. So I was the roller
When the
coaster.
pandemic is over, we're gonna go on a roller coaster. Even though I hate roller coasters,
Okay.
gotta go on these
Ah,
ones.
meh. Yeah, so I had to overcome that, and that was the hardest. Oh my God, that was hardest thing honestly I've done in my life, physically and mentally, just because the obstacle that I had to do after that was crazy. I can't wait till it comes out. I do believe it's coming out in June, my episode, so I can't wait till it comes out. Everybody sees it, like just to see, like, and I want to tell a story behind it because it's not just me doing that. Like, trust me, there's so many other things behind the doors that I had to overcome mentally to even perform physically. And I would fall, and like it's kind of like this big old circle thing, and I can't even explain it, but whenever I would mess up, I'd fall, and it was like a pinball effect. It was like boom, 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 and I would hit my
Mm-hmm.
knee. like all the way down. So I was just injuring myself even more, and it was a lot. I didn't think I was going to be able to complete it, but I completed it. And then he completed his part because I had to finish my part for him to continue on. And
Hmm.
then he did. Yeah, and then we ended up, of course, winning. But that sparked a lot inside of me too, because the next day I had a crazy workout. Like I was just, whoa, you won
But
Wipepout?
what did you learn from yourself through that experience, like in the
That
sense of?
I'm a lot more powerful than I realized. Like you're a lot more
Hmm.
stronger than you think. Like you can do a lot more even at 50%. At your half best, you can go win that show. That's what you can do at 50%.
Hmm.
So let's see what you can do when you're fully in your purpose, when you're fully in your passion, when you're fully committed to what you see. Where can you go? What can you do? What can you bring out of you? And I have to be about it and do these things so that I can, if I'm ever blessed enough to live out the dreams that I plan on living
Well, I know that
with other people
we've
and
had,
heal
I
and
know that
just bring light.
I
What?
know that we've had, hold on a second. Fuck's sakes. What the fuck is that? Hold on.
What are you doing?
I'm killing something. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I know that, like, we have discussed a lot of times, with you blocking your own vision and
Yeah.
having those setbacks. What do you feel causes that self-doubt within yourself?
I think it's almost kind of like I fear the intensity of my authenticity, like fearing the power that you are really capable of having and exerting, like fearing the unknown, like fearing like what can you really get out of yourself the more that you push. And I feel like sometimes I can run to my comfort zone and like maybe I'm not ready just yet to do that. So let me just kind of go a step back so I
Mm-hmm.
can go 4 steps forward. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like technically you don't need to go a step back to keep going forward, my love. Like, I feel like in some way I try to reason with myself like, okay, it's okay to fail sometimes because when you fail, you grab the lessons, which you do, and I always go like 13 steps forward after one failure. Like that's just how I'm wired. So then I feel like sometimes I'm too comfortable with failing when in reality, like you don't need to cause pain on yourself to learn the lesson when you already know the lesson because you've done it before. Like you don't need to
Mm-hmm.
fail the same way. You can succeed and succeed and succeed and succeed. And like, what do you mean you can't? Like you can, and I feel like it's that type of thing with myself, like learning and finding and seeing. Like sometimes you just have to go 2 feet in and just go all the way and don't have one foot in and one foot out. Like, no, go 2 feet in and see what you're really made out of, and
Well, what for you is your biggest fear?
my biggest fear is not living up to my potential, is not living up to what I know I'm able to express, is just not living up to my own standards of who I believe I'm meant to be, and not living up to what God has for me, not being able to do what I'm meant to do and to be who I'm created to be. Like anything but that is just a failure for me. And like I'm here for a reason, I'm here for a purpose, and I'm here to walk these steps and be guided and protected and led and to go through this and to go through that. I know my life will be challenging, but like I'm strong enough to overcome everything and anything. So, I just have to have that mindset, and that's why I work hard. Like that's genuinely why I work so hard, and that's why I'm the hardest worker in every room. And that's just that. Nobody outworks me, and I just not that I'm competing with anybody. I'm competing
You
with
should
my
never be
best.
competing. You can always be
No.
competing with yourself because that should be the only
Right.
reflection in the mirror. But for you, like,
Exactly.
what would you, if you were to define yourself into 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Okay. 3 words. Divine.
Mm-hmm. And guys, if you have a question while we're doing this, please feel free to drop a comment below.